In this video, I'm gonna give my best tips for the roundoff backflip and the roundoff whip. If you have seen my tricking journey video, which you by the way should definitely see, it's a great video, you know that I was a roundoff focused flipper slash tricker. Roundoff was, and it really still is, the strongest setup that I have for any tricks. I know many of you are interested in power moves, and the roundoff is the best setup for those. But before you are learning power moves from it, you need to master your roundoff and your roundoff back tuck or backflip. The technique of the roundoff backflip is simple, but the details are very overlooked usually. So let's start with the roundoff details. First of all, roundoff should not be treated similarly to a cartwheel, but rather similarly to a handstand. It's basically a handstand where you twist your upper body 90 degrees just before putting your hands down to the ground. This technique allows you to make it completely linear and allows your legs to have equal amount of power distribution. When you're doing the roundoff powerfully, your hands are not touching the ground too long. You are basically pushing off the ground as soon as possible. The faster your roundoff is, the more you can store power in it and then explode to the backflip. And then when you're landing your roundoff, you want to land in such an angle that supports optimal blocking, and then you wanna raise your shoulders up. You don't need to raise your hands up towards the sky. Your shoulders raising up is more than enough. But having a good roundoff is not enough. You still need a lot of core strength and calf strength or ankle strength to jump high up. And for that, I want you to practice jumps like this. When you do jumps like this, like when you're landing a roundoff, your heels should not touch the ground, or they should touch it very, very gently. Basically, you want to stay on your balls of feet and activate whole your body. Core, calves, ankles, everything. And instead of just doing mindlessly roundoff backflips over and over again and not focusing on the technique, I want you to drill these kind of jumps a lot. Do, for example, 10 sets of 5 reps so that the reps are extra hard reps. You want to jump as high as possible, stay on the balls of the feet, activate the core, activate the shoulders, etc. If you can't do this kind of jumps, you definitely can't do a proper roundoff backflip with enough power. Practicing these jumps makes your ankles and your whole body a lot better able to handle the stress after the round of landing and jumping to the backflip. When you are doing the roundoff backflip, the contact time between the roundoff and your jump is very small, like it's almost non-existent. But let's next move to the roundoff whip, which is completely different. A whip backflip activates completely different muscles than the roundoff backflip. When you do the roundoff for the roundoff whip, you are not putting your legs in such an angle that it supports blocking, but rather it supports going backwards. In a whip backflip, you push your hips forward by activating the back and the glutes. You can try to see the ground as fast as possible. To do the whip backflip properly, you need to bend your back. And personally, when I do the whip backflip on grass, I'm not focusing on staying on my balls of feet, but I let my heels come to the ground, at least a little, and that allows me to lean more back and just jump efficiently. So if the roundoff backflip does all the work with the calves, the shoulders and the core, the whip backflip does all the work with the back and the glutes, but also the shoulders. At these two clips, I'm utilizing pretty much the same amount of power during the backflip and the whip. Still, the whip is a lot lower and longer because these power distribution differences. Anyways, this was just a quick video I wanted to make on this topic, and I hope you got something out of it, and see you in the next video.